Hi there. Um, Before I talk about my MyLab experience, I feel I should talk about the trauma that softened me up. When I was 2 years old, I stayed with the babysitter during the day. The sitter turned out to be a violent drunk with equally violent boys. Her husband and his brother were old school Satanists who engaged in black magic and blood sacrifice. During a trip to the Akashic Record, my guides showed me that they sodomized me before using me in a satanic ritual. I don't believe it's coincidence my mother met this particular sitter. I believe the plan was to initiate me into the world of black magic. I get the sense that there was a lot of it at Montauk. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The MyLab memories began surfacing last year, 2016. I'm a child in a parking garage. It has a military feel. I'm on a gurney or in a wheelchair going down what looks like a hospital hallway. I pass by a plate glass window on my left. A boy is being given an electric shock to his head. His body arches off the bed. Two or three men in lab coats observe and take notes. I come to an intersection where a little blonde girl is standing to the left. She is staring at me. Then I see me in a cage like a lab animal, clad only in my briefs. Cold nights. I remember cold nights. I get the strong impression this happened at the Montauk facility or a lab nearby. I've always felt a connection to Montauk, but I never knew why until I started watching videos about the place. The more I watched it, more it seemed like I had another piece of the puzzle. My guides had prepared. Sorry, my guides have been preparing me for this by interesting me in first MK Ultra and then Project Monarch. Montauk was a natural progression of subjects to explore, and here we are. I know what you're thinking. This guy watched a bunch of videos and let his imagination run wild. I can see why you might think that. Thing is, these fragments and flashbacks feel like authentic memories. Here's one. I'm in a semi darkened room. A reptilian is eviscerating a boy in front of me and to my right. There is blood everywhere on the stone slab and floor. There's a big splotch of blood on the opposite wall. I am fucking terrified. Then the reptilian lunges at me. I see me terrified and screaming and scrambling back as far as I could in the chair, my legs pulled up tight. He stops inches short of touching me with his snout. He was a velociraptor, like the critters in Jurassic Park. He was to traumatize me, but he couldn't touch me. I remember being in what feels like a facility for girls. I get the sense that they had me have sex with the girls. Over the past several months, I've been getting flashbacks of being taken as a child to sex parties in fancy old houses with dark wood and brass fittings. At first, I got the sense I was drugged and raped by the grown ups, and then I started remembering things. Men and women in tuxedos and evening gowns, seeing wrinkly old faces leering at me, performing sex acts on me. One morning while meditating, I saw the sex party turn into a satanic ritual. They were sacrificing babies on stone altars. At one point, they put a dagger in my hand and I killed a baby. I get the impression he wasn't the only one. They would throw the bodies into an open crematorium furnace. Fuck. I get the impression this happened on the main coast. I mean, on the East Coast. Mainly New York and Connecticut. Just a second. Okay. I have a recurring flashback of being buried in a coffin. Fuck. For the past 35 years or so, I've had a recurrent vision of me, a brown haired girl, and a man with a beard and glasses in a house. I feel a connection with the girl. The bearded man has always felt like a director or counselor, although no, I know now that he was my handler, and he was not a very nice man. How has my experience affected me? I have lived with post traumatic stress disorder for as long as I can remember. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Anxiety and depression are constant companions. I have wanted to kill myself many times. I loathe myself. I hate myself and I want to die. Yeah, I wouldn't do it for the usual reasons, but still. Life on this planet is a motherfucker. I can't help but see myself as a monster. Self loathing seems to be the primary goal of these deep state's mind control program. People who feel shitty about themselves are more likely to stay in victim mode. They are more likely to adopt beliefs that don't serve their best interests. For example, they may be taught that the established authority is always right and should be deferred to, no questions asked. And if you do ask questions, the punishment will be severe and quick. And they should always be deferred to. Or did I say that? My purpose in making this video is to add one more witness to the atrocities carried out by our government under the aegis of national security. I have no doubt Project Monarch is continuing to this day under another name. This shit has to fucking stop. No more traumatizing and brutalizing children for the deep state's agenda. No more brutalized and traumatized adults. God damn it. I anticipate making more videos as more memories resurface. In an interview, Michael Prince, aka James Caswalt, said that it's when Project Monarch victims reach their 50s and 60s that their memories come flooding in. I'm 53. Won't this be fun? The next part may give some context to the memories, depending on how open minded you are to psychics and mediums. I am both, but that is neither here nor there. Last Thanksgiving, I had a reading with a 5D Syrian being named Adronis, as channeled by Brad Johnson. According to the Adronis, the Draco wanted to exploit my psychic abilities in service of their secret space program. I have brief flashbacks of being on a reptilian ship. I see glimpses of a snarling reptilian standing over me while I work. Fortunately, the only reptilians around me now have my back. And that's my video. Thanks for watching.